Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I am back with a replay between two players, one of them being Zbug Rushcrazy, and the other one, let's see here. Well, let's go ahead and give both their players their intro first. But, yeah. Upper left-hand corner, spawning is our Protoss in the red trunks. His name is Rushcrazy. I'm not sure if he actually belongs to the Rush clan, I can't say for sure, because people are often changing their names around a lot. And in the lower right-hand corner, spawning as our Terran in the blue trunks, I give you all TheSun. Now, something I will highlight is that when I ended up searching for Rushcrazy, I was actually under the impression that he did belong to the Rush clan. Same clan that I'm a part of, but perhaps, you know, under a different name or a different title. When I did find his Battle.net profile, it redirected me to the Taiwan Battle.net page, so I wouldn't be surprised to, you know, actually elicit that he is a member of Rush. Adding to that, I want to say that both players are GM, but I can't say what server. Given the fact that as I was loading and as I had downloaded this map, the language that it was loading into was English, I would say that perhaps this was played on the Southeast Asia server. Both players are GMs, and I've seen basically, you know, anything happen on the SCA server, so I wouldn't be surprised to find out that this is actually a legitimate member of Rush. Southeast Asia server is actually kind of comparable, I say somewhat, to the Chinese server, if you guys will just hear me out when I say that. I'm not bashing by any means, I'm just going by player populations. TheSun says, what DPI is your mouse at? And let's just find out what kind of a reply Rushcrazy is going to give him, if anything. Okay. Well, that's kind of a simple-ish question. It says 24 at what res? Well, I'm not sure if he understands that question, but yeah. It's entirely possible. I'm willing to bank that Rushcrazy is actually a member of the Rush clan. Another thing that I must stress is that the China and the Southeast Asia server, their populations are rather similar. And there's one member of Rush that is a Diamond League player, at least on the Taiwan and Korea server, but on the China server, he is actually a Grandmasters League player. Interesting, isn't it? Now we do have the first Reaper out on the map. It did get a probe kill. It was just a probe straight up from Rushcrazy. And simply due to the fact that Rushcrazy, you know, he didn't give a reply after that. It just says, you know, this basically, I want to say this means he was actually a legitimate member of Rush, but at the same time, I'm not sure anything about the Zbug clan. I didn't search for the Zbug clan because there's no information. There was no information on what clan Rushcrazy belonged to, according to Battle.net. And this is kind of a standard follow-up, a bit of a strange one in my opinion for our Terran. He actually just goes ahead and just straight up builds his natural right then and there at that location, and he has a bio follow-up coming up as well. There's a few new things going on with me, but I'll get back to them in just a moment, since we do have a little bit of some early game harass going on. Both players are inevitably going to end up breaking away from each other and then going back to their ends of the map. Stalker trying to get the kill on the SCV. It won't happen. The bunker will finish, and once that happens, the Marines are free to get in if they can live long enough to do that. And I think that Zealot was sacrificed with its intended goal achieved, and it has been done. So there we have it. Rushcrazy has confirmed that there is actually a natural there for his opponent. The Reaper only gets one kill, one probe kill ever. And both players are just going to back away in macro right now. Of course, we can read into this. We know that this is a bio follow-up from TheSun. What's been going on with me lately? I'm back into the Asia StarCraft League and the Rit Mixed Russia Star League. I want to say that for the longest time, you know, there was just dry seasons. There was nothing to cast. Like, the only thing I had to cast was essentially the Battle.net World Championship Series, sort of, you could say. It was easy enough to get in on. I work with ESL every now and then. I do have ESL XP as one of my Skype contacts, and he has given me charge with the next Neo TV Star League. We're simply waiting on a confirmation date for the Neo TV Star League. Of course, it doesn't also help that I believe WCG is a Chinese tournament that's also basically working alongside Neo TV Star League, if not with the same crew, and you know, the Neo TV Star League guys are basically trying not to compete with these guys. So they're waiting for these guys to basically throw out their cards, throw out their bluff, if you will, and figure out just, you know, when they're going to get things started so that they can get things started without any time conflicts. And in all honesty, it's actually in the best interest of both parties to actually have their tournaments, their gaming fests, whatever have you, at times that are not completely identical to each other, because then they end up competing with each other. I mean, honestly, I want everyone who's watching this video to tell me who went to both IEM Singapore and MLG Fall Arena in 2012, besides Slivko. Come on, Slivko was one of the players, but perhaps his team coach went there, maybe his manager, maybe, just maybe, but I wouldn't put money on that. I do mean to ask that question with a rhetorical tone towards audience members. Like, who went to both of those events, besides possibly Dustin Browder, to spectate? Anywho, some just raw Marine firepower coming in here to do some poking around. It looks like they're going to get a Colossi kill. Oh my god, this is the first time I've seen anything like that done. Couple of Zealots warping in right here, and it looks like these Marines are going to get a couple of kills on the probe line before possibly being shut down. It's hard to say, really. We got Photon Overcharge being activated. These Marines will not be able to kill the Nexus. No, instead what they're trying to do is get some probe kills, and they get quite a few at that. Look at this. 14, 15, 16. Oh my god, he's actually pulling probes to deal with this? That's not safe. No, not at all. Check this out. 35 probes to 43. If he had held there, if he had simply had 16 more probes to go with, I think he'd be in a much, much safer position. But he's going to be spreading himself thin on the economy that we see here in the near future. Yes, poor Rushcrazy. Playing against Terran like it's Zerg. Oh, man. Meanwhile, we are about to have +1/+1 finish up. And he's going with a Twilight Council follow-up, so I don't know. With any luck, he'll be able to hold off the next wave with a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little more ease to it. Extended Thermal Lance is about to finish up as well. And we also have 2 forward position sentries, if you will. This SCV is going to go out and scout for the 3rd and see that it's been finished a considerably longer amount of time than the 3rd for Sun, anyway. Ah, yes, and there's one more thing I forgot to mention. As long as we got the time to fill in, you know, day after tomorrow, I will be going to, or not going to, I will be casting a Barcraft event that will be taking place in New Zealand. I'll be doing it in Chinese, so if you guys have any friends from Taiwan or China that would like to see a white guy pretending he's speaking Chinese, go ahead and do it. And that was a note of sarcasm, guys. I actually do speak Chinese. If I wanted to, I could study in mainland China for a degree, but yeah, that's about it. Now, we do have essentially a 3rd Colossus coming out, but I want to say that we need Rushcrazy to be absolutely 100% prepared to deal with this drop that's coming into his main right now. He's got pylons in the right positions. He's got Photon Overcharge going down. It looks like the Marines and Marauders are actually concentrated on targeting down this robotics bay. It looks like they might just get it. And what is this? Is this just an empty drop? Oh my god, it does fall! I'm sorry guys, empty drop. What I meant when I said that was, typically, when 9 times out of 10 when we see a Terran player drop at this level, what they'll do is they'll drop. And this is what we call a tap to the head, and then they go for 2 to the stomach. 2 to the stomach in this case basically implies that they're going to try and get a kill on a nexus, basically keep the, starve the economy of their opponent, and so on and so forth. If we check the worker count right now, it's slightly in favor of TheSun, but most of his units right here are essentially all Marines and Marauders. There are 3 Vikings in the mix, 4 Vikings in the mix, and there are 2 more being cranked out at the same time. Zealot run by at the lower left-hand third for our Terran, and he's actually stemming up a few Marines and Marauders to deal with it. Right here we can see that his micro skills, his eyes are not on his Marines and Marauders at this location. And no good deed goes unpunished, so we're going to see essentially our Terran try to return damage at the third. There is luckily a forward pylon here that will essentially tip off Rushcrazy and let him know just what the heck is going on here. Right now, we can see that the army count is vastly in favor of TheSun. I want to say the one thing that can turn this around right now would be extremely immaculately good storms, but we see that the Templar Archives is only now in construction. We're going to have a huge engagement here. The Vikings kind of getting slightly out of position, and they are capable of doing just so much damage to a single Colossi right now. We just saw that 6 Vikings attacked a single Colossus, and they did maybe 70-something damage to its shields. That is extremely valuable, well-needed damage, and we see that Charge is just now finishing up. We're going to see Charge lots out on the battlefield, no doubt. But now here we go, the engagement point that Terran was looking for. The force fields are beautiful, but I'm wondering just how are we going to see Rushcrazy continue to hold this. He's going to take a lot of damage. The last Colossus is about to fall, and I think we are looking at what could be a turnaround point in the game for Sun. Like, he's just so far ahead with the amount of damage that he's done right now. I'm sure he's taking a 4th, or getting ready to take 4th at the very least. I just don't know what else to say, really. Checking up on the work account at 72 to 66. This is more than optimal saturation for a 3-base Protoss. He is missing one worker on his gas at his 3rd. Twilight Council is just now researching Blink, and we have some Zealots that were doing another run-by, if you will. Not too bad. And the Zealot trying to get as many kills as it could. +2 is already finished, and now we have +3 on the way for our Terran. Excuse me, our Zerg. Oh my god, did I really just say our Zerg? Our Protoss. And +3 is actually getting finished up for our Terran. Where the armor upgrades at? Okay, well, that tells us a lot. Right now, Rushcrazy is catching a lot of Vikings out of position. That's going to help him out a bit with the Colossi, but there's only 1 Colossus here. There's going to be like 2... There's going to be so many Immortals here. I just don't know what he's going to do to them. I mean, the one thing that can really kill all these Immortals would definitely be just beautiful storms, but right now we're actually waiting for Psionic Storm to finish it up, and it won't be ready to go for another 40 seconds. He's going to have to be able to hold here, but he can't. The thing is, he needs those storms right now, and it looks like we're just gonna have Terran A move onto Rushcrazy. I can't see him turning this around while there's a beautiful time warp going down, and the AoE is just absolutely sick here. The last Colossus will fall with virtually no damage done to this Terran army. 163 supply to 73, and now we are waiting for what? I don't know. The Vikings have landed. We see that a bunch of Zealots are warping in, and there it is, the GG from Rushcrazy, just as basically Psystorms had finished up. He had no way to cast them. He had no Templar left. They were all destroyed, man. Alright, so guys, if you liked what you saw here today, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. This is Breaker. I'll see you guys next time.